cell, like saying this particular cell now, let me say I have sorry, let me zoom out. So let's say I have 100 here, for example. This is what this is the value of this particular cell. So I can come to another cell now and say this cell now, you know, this cell, you can see the name of this cell. This cell is N20. This cell I'm in now is N20. While the former cell I was is J20. You understand? So I can come to N20 here and I say N20 is equal to J20. And I click equal to. Can you see? It gave me the value of J20. That was the formula I used in getting this. I can also come and say this N20 is equals to J20 plus 2. So I've come in and it has given me 102. You understand? So that was the formula. That's the formula I used for this particular cell. So I think that's good. So we'll move basically now to using arithmetic operators. So basic arithmetic operators we have at the
screen.
Okay, what did you say in here? It's too small.
The size of your screen.
Is it too small?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No problem. Okay. Yeah, I think this is better, right? Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, it's okay.
So basic arithmetic operations, we have the addition, we have the subtraction, we have the multiplication, we have division, we also have the mod, then we have integer. Those are the basic arithmetic operators. So if you want to work with, let's work with this, our initial table, the one we created yesterday, which was Emmanuel's Tech Company. So I can come here and say, I want to get the total value for Monday and Wednesday. You understand? So I can come here and say is equal to Monday is K8. You guys understand how I'm getting the K8 now? Monday is K8. Monday for phones is K8. Then Monday Wednesday for phones is M8. So I can come here and say is equals to K8 plus M8. And I use my equal to to give me 5,000. I can still do the same and say, okay, it's equal to minus, and it will work. You understand? So you can take Excel as your calculator. You understand? For basic calculation, you can use it to do basic calculations. You understand? Then if you also, let's say you want to get the remainder, for example, you want to do a basic calculation and you want to get the remainder. Let's say you have something like 6, for example, is equals to 6. You can say 6 divided by 4. I'm coming. So we use the function mod for this one. So you can say mod, which is short for modulus, for example. So you can say mod 6 is asking for the number. Can you see? Okay, you guys can see what popped up. I think I need to reshare my own screen so you can see what I am being asked. Just hold on. I will share my whole screen. Okay, you can see now, right? Okay, so here now it's asking for the number and the divisor. So that is asking for the numerator and the denominator. So I can put 6 as the numerator, then I put 4 as the denominator, I close my bracket and I put my equal to. 6 divided by 4 is not 2. 6 divided by 4 is 1, remainder 2. But this particular function, which is modulus, modulus will give you the remainder. You understand? It will give you the remainder of your equation. Let's go back to the definition of functions so you guys understand what I'm saying very well. So functions are predefined formulas in Excel that perform specific calculations using values. So a function is a predefined, take note of predefined. Try and reconnect. Are you guys not seeing my screen? Are you seeing my screen? Can you see my cursor moving?
Yes.
Okay. So a function is a predefined formula, meaning a function is like something that has formulas inside them. So you have your normal formula, which is what your equal to, where you can use your plus, you can use your minus, you can get your average, that is your division and the rest. So there are functions that you just have everything there. All you need to do is just put your numerator, put a denominator, it will just give you direct. You just use your comma. So instead of having something like let's say equals to 2 plus 4, equals to 2 plus 4, that is 2 plus 4 is equals to 6. You can have something like is equals to sum, you understand, sum 2, you understand, comma 4. Do you get? So that is the difference. That is just the basic difference between a function and a formula. So this one, you have to like state it direct. But this one has made life easy for you, especially when you are dealing with a very large data set, a very large table. This table we have here now is very small. It's very small. You can have some tables that have rows that are up to 2,000, 3,000, even 300 and something thousand. So you cannot go and be saying, let's say you want to deal with Monday now, for example, you cannot come and say, let's say is equal to, let's say you want to find the total sales now for Monday. You will now come and say 3,000, or let me not work with 3,000. Let's work with the cell number. Is equal to K8 plus K9 plus K10 plus, you can see how cumbersome it is, plus K11 plus K12. It's quite stressful. You understand? So instead of coming to write everything one after the other, you can simply just come here and put is equal to sum. Sum is the function. Is equals to sum. And then I'll come here and I'll do this. You understand? You can see what I'm doing. Sorry. I'll just come here and I will drag it. Immediately I dragged it, you saw what I was doing. So writing K8, K9, K10, K11, K12, till it got to where I stopped. So you can see what is in this bracket now. What is in this parenthesis? Is K8. This right up here means from cell K8 to cell K12. Go and sum everything. Do you understand? So that is what you are telling Excel to do for you. And then when you write it, you can see it gave me the same answer. If I don't even want to drag it the way I dragged it, as far as I know the cell name, I know this one is K8 here. This is K12. I don't even need to go and drag it. I can say it's equals to sum K8 to K12. Please, I know I'm saying to, but it's not to I'm writing. You can see what I'm writing. It's a column. Somebody can't see my screen. I hope my screen is not visible, and I'm just still talking. I'm going forward. Just unmute on my, in case maybe I don't see it on the chat. So you see, I didn't have to go and drag. Just understand your cell names, and your life will be made easy. So that is that. So there are other functions we work on. We work with 5 basic functions. I've explained formula. We work with 5 basic functions. Right now, we work with the sum. We work with average. We work with max, mean, and then we work with count. So let's say now we want to delete this. Wow. Okay.
I can't see yours.
Are you sure? Can you guys see my screen? Can you see my cursor moving?
It's not the screen
Yes,
is
Yes.
it's not
please.
wide enough.
Yes, we
Yes.
can. I can see it.
Yes.
We can.
The screen is not wide enough.
Okay. Okay. Are you using a phone? Because it's quite big from my end.
I'm using
Okay.
iPad anyway.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think this is big enough for everybody then. Okay. I think this is big enough for everybody. Just that I will have to be scrolling up and down now to do some things, but no problem. Okay, so let's do total sales now. So we want to get the total sales for Monday. Total sales. Told you we're going to work with total sales. Then we'll do average sales. Average sales. Then we'll do cell count. Do count. Then we'll do max. And then mean. Okay. So we can come here now. Since total sales normal is sum, because we want to add everything. So we can come here and say is equal to, that is for Monday, is equals to the sum of we know it's K8 before, so I don't need to go and drag K8 to K12. Remember, I'm not writing to, I'm using a colon. That is these 2 dots here. You understand? I'm not writing to, and I'm not using dash as well. So I'm writing the sum there. This is 35,000. So I can say I want to do the average as well. You guys know the formula for average. Average is the sum of everything divided by 5. That is divided by the count. You understand? So normally the average is supposed to be this 35,000 divided by 5. But since there are functions existing which makes life easy for somebody, you don't need to do the sum before you do the average. You can do the average straight by using the average function. So you can see average here, and then I will just write the same. I'll use the same cell names from K8 to K12. You can see it already highlighted it for me without touching it, and I'll use my equal to. So this is the average. And a norm, if I had done 35,000 divided by 5, I would have gotten 7,000. So I didn't have to do that. I don't have to do the sum. You can just do it fast. So this is count. The count function goes to count the number of cells that are being selected. So it will just count. This is cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4, cell 5. So it would give you a count of the cells. So I can say is equals to count. The same thing from K8 to K12. That is count. The same thing for max. The max function will check your cells and it will tell you the cell you have selected. It will tell you the highest number in that group you have selected. So I can come here and use my max, and then I will select which is my K8 to what? K12. And that is that. And you can see from here, 11,000 is the highest number here. So the mean is minimum. It tells you the lowest number, that is the minimum number, the smallest number there. So I use my mean, and I'm using the K8 range K12 because I'm working with that. Sorry, K12, and that is the minimum. That is the smallest number here. So normally, if you want to do the same thing here, I know many of you will be thinking that we should do sum. If you do sum, this is L8 L8 to L12. 24,000. That is the total. But we don't have to do that because, like I said, Excel is here to make your life easier. You understand? Microsoft created Excel to make your calculation, your computations very easy. Remember what I told you guys yesterday, that when there's already a pattern, you don't need to fill the cell directly. You can just autofill it. You can just drag it and it will work. So what we had here was 24. Instead of 24 now, 24,000. If I come here now, it's already having, look at the formula here, some K8 to K12. Instead of going to do all these ones individually, since that is what is here, I can simply just come to the edge here. Remember, the cursor is white now. When I come to the edge, it gets black. So when it's black, it means it's ready for me to, is taking note of the formula. There is not going to do just the copy. And then I drag. Can you see? It filled it up on its own. So if I come here now and I check what is here, you can see what happened here. It's L8 to L12 on its own. No? Come here, you can see what happened here. M8 to 12, M12, because there's already a formula here. There's already a pattern here. So it will just work with the pattern and move as you are moving. You understand? So this is for Friday. I can come here and I drag this one for Friday. Let me do this. Okay. I drag this one for Friday. So you can see it too. It's showing me for what? 08 to 012. You understand? So this is the sum. If you want to, if you doubt it, you can do your own calculation. You can just add everything. I sent the data set, so most of you should have it. If you add everything here, it will give you this number. So I can do the same thing here. Instead of me going to put average K8 to L8 to L12, I can just come to the edge too and still drag it. You can see it's populating it, it's filling it up by itself. It will just work with the formula that was in the first cell and to just go. Same thing for the marks. I just have to drag and it will tell me the highest number in those cells. So you can check it here for the marks. This one is easier to check. 5,000 for this one. You can see 5,000 is the highest number here. 5,500, sorry. 5,500 is the highest number here. For this one, the highest number is 5,000. Here, the highest number is 4,000. And here, the highest number is 5,000. That is what it gave us. You can see. So I can come here as well and drag. And if you're also still doubting, can we also do the mode? Yes, you can do that. You can do that on your own. You can. You can do that on your own. So you can see the mean here. The mean gave us the lowest number here. You can check it. We have 3,000. We have 4,000, which is the smallest number here. We have 2,000 and thereabout. So that is how you can use a function and your autofill that you were taught yesterday. So that being that, we can also move to the next step, which is concatenation. So concatenation, and okay, let's just do a total here because I will use it. No, I'll not do this now. Concatenation is the process of combining two things together. The process of joining two things together is like joining two texts. Text is a data type in Excel used for words, that is alphabets. You understand, things you don't want to calculate. So whereby normally you have 2,000 as a number. If you say 2,000 plus 2,000, to give you 4,000, for example. But for concatenation, we're working with words, alphabets. You understand? So when you say instead of when you say Emmanuel plus tech is equals to Emmanuel tech, stuff like that. So let's just do a quick example of what I'm saying so you'd understand properly. So let's say we're working with names now. We want to join names. I want to join names together. So we can have names here. Let's say, whose name do I use now from here? Okay. So let's say Abiodun. We can say we have Abiodun as the first name. Hold on. Say first name. And then last name. If you also call your name on time, I can use your name instead. But if you don't call your name, I will just use somebody from you. But so far, Favor who?
Baby.
Favor. Hope I'm spelling your name correctly. Correct me if I'm not. Favor Akbede, right?
B.
Okay.
Not D. Not
B.
B. A.
Okay.
No, AKPE. BE.
FP.
That's a nice. Dorcas who?
Dorcas Sadiq.
Sadiq. Then who's? I need 5 names. I work with 5 people.
Jill.
Gio who?
Jill Ayobe.
Gio Ayode.
AIYOB.
Kingsley Blessing.
Yeah.
Ayobi, the head blessing. Blessing who?
Emmanuel.
Okay,
Kingsley
Emmanuel Abido.
Blessing.
Okay, easy blessing. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Blessing easy.
Blessing.
Okay, Kingsley. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. Okay, so
Kingsley.
yeah, King Abi Priestley. So I'm correct now. Kingsley Blessing.
Kingsley. Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so we want to concatenate now. That means we want to do concatenation. Like I said, concatenation is the combining of 2 things together. It's like saying joining. You want to join these names together. Let's say we don't like the way they are separated, so we can come here now and do concatenation. Instead of going to write, this Zoom is affecting what I'm typing. I hope you guys can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I can.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let me make this one blue so it can look different. Okay. So we want to join these 2 names together now, because instead of going to write Abiodun Ismail, it will stress us to be writing it for everybody. It's very stressful. So we can now use a formula, which is a concatenation formula. I'll teach you guys 4 different ways to do this, which is using the AND, using the concat function, using the concatenate function, and using the text join function. I've explained what function is, so I know you guys understand me. Okay, so let's come in, and we can come here and say, instead of saying Abiodun Ismail, you can just come and say is equal to this cell is equals to Abiodun is in what? You can write it on the chat. What cell is Abiodun?
H25.
H25. H25.
Thank you. So you can come here and say H25, and what cell is Ismail?
J25.
J25.
Okay, thank you. You guys are following. Okay. But this is how it came out. Does this, if somebody presents this to you, does it look presentable? Somebody shows you this, does this look presentable?
No.
Not at all.
No.
So we need to put a space, right, between Abiodun and Ismail, right? So we'll come here and we'll do this. Is equal to, you guys said Abiodun is H25. So you will not come here, you will use your hand. That same hand we used before. Please mute your mic. Thank you. Because I'm echoing. Okay. Thank you. So we can say it's H25, and we will now put the space in between. But the space now must be in quotation marks. You understand? Double quotes. Can you guys see my screen? Well, let me zoom it. Oh, I need to. Okay, let me just delete it and I'll zoom it very well so you guys can see what I'm writing. Okay, so we have is equals to H25, and we put a double quotation mark, not single. Single doesn't work in Excel, but if you are doing if you're working with other with a programming language like Python and the rest, you can use single quote. But for Excel, it doesn't work most times to give you an error. So you use your double quote, then you put your space. Sure, you saw that I put my space there. I didn't just do this. I didn't do this. So I put the quotation, then I put a space, and then I added the second quotation. And then I will now come here and I'll put my and J25. So you can see that highlighted Abiodun and Ismail. And I do my equal to. So you can see it now. This is more presentable. If maybe you don't want it to be space, you can come here and put dash. You understand? And then it will give you Abiodun dash Ismail. Somebody said they can't see my screen. Okay. Yes, okay, my Wi-Fi is on. So it will give you Abiodun dash. Okay, it will give you Abiodun dash Ismail. But we don't want dash. Anything you want to put, if you want it to be G, you can put it Abiodun G Ismail. But we want a space. So we have Abiodun space Ismail. So since we've done it for this side, we don't need to do the same thing here. Remember, we've already referenced the cell, we've already called the cell, so you can simply just hold it. There's already a formula there, and it takes a formula as a pattern. You can just come to the edge here, it's black, and then we drag. Can you see it? So it has done the same thing for the rest. We didn't have to do it. This Emmanuel, let me correct this Emmanuel.
Manuel Abi.
Yes, sorry, I'm doing a small letter for you. Okay, you can see as I'm even changing the text part, it's changing here. So this one now is for what? Using the and. Let me write this here. Using and is using and. Okay, good. I think that's okay. So that is that. Let me come to another side. We use the concat. So we'll write this using. Please, somebody should mute my mic. Okay, can I explain again the second time? Okay, I'll do that. Okay. So what I did here, whoever that person was, hold on, let me just delete it. Okay. So what I did here, let me go back. Since we know the cell reference, we don't want to add, we don't want to concat, we don't want to join them together. Just as in, we don't want to join them individually. You can use a formula so it will be easier for us. You can just come here and you put your equal to sign, and then we'll say Abiodun is H25, Ismail is J25. So you can come here and put H25, and the problem is we don't want them to be joined together. If we want them to be joined together like we have here, you can just put and J25. If you also don't want to write it, you can still come here and click if maybe you're not sure. Maybe, my screen is big now, but when you are working with your own Excel, your screen won't be as big as this, so you might not even see it. If you cannot see, you can easily just come here and you just click on it and it will select it to add it there for you. But we want a space in between them. So I use the quotation mark. And then I put a space in between the quotation mark and I added the second quotation mark to end. So what I want to be in between Abiodun and Ismail is space. You understand? So I come here and I'll put my other and then I'll now go to Ismail and I'll reference Ismail's cell. So I have Abiodun, Ismail. Mr. God's power, then I'll drag it down. Mr. Gospel, you're raising up your hand.
Sorry. It was a mistake.
Okay. Okay, so and then I'll drag it down. So I want to use another way now. I want to use the concat. You understand? So I can come here and say this is equal to concat. Concat means to concatenate. You can see here it has written the function of this, as what this function does. I've written it here. Concatenate a list or range of text strings. So whereby what you want to add is much. You see this what you're adding here is just two words. Sometimes what you might be adding might be a very long sentence. Maybe you have different words in different cells and you want to join them together. And so this concat would come in handy instead of going to put and in between, like the way I showed you. You can use plus in between words. So instead of doing that, you can just use the concat. So now it's asking for text. I'm not using the concat, it's asking for text 1. Text 1 is the first cell you want to add, which is that cell again. H25. So which is H25. H25, and then I put my comma. So it's asking for the second cell, which is what? J25. J25. And then I will close the bracket and I do equal to. So it has made it easy for me because, for example, I had a range of cells. You understand? I wanted to do from this place to this place, for example. It's a bit easier for me. You understand? So, but it didn't come out the way we want it to come out. It came out the way this one came out. So we need to put a space in between. So to put a space in between, all you need to do is before the next line, let me just write it again so you guys will follow me very well. After the H25, which is for Abiodun, I'll come here and add my comma, and then I'll put a space. You see, I use the quotation first. Because if you put the space there, it won't recognize it. But when you put the quotation and then you put the space inside your quotation, it recognizes that as an object. So it recognizes that thing as like a text, like it's something you want to display. Otherwise, you just take it as probably you wanted your formula to look neat. You understand? So I put the other space here, and then I'll put my J25. You can see it has separated it for me. Please take note of this space. If you go and put space like this, it will take it, like I said, it will take it like you just want your formula to be very neat and fine. That is what Excel will believe. You can see it will still work. You understand? It's that same space. If you come here now and put, let's say I put dash, and you have plenty space in between, it won't do anything. It is only the space that is in your quotation marks that Excel will recognize as an object. So let me add the space there. Joshua Odubambo, your hands are up. Is there a question?
Yes, please. Yes. Thank you very much. I just needed to just go back to the second formula, which is using the and. I just wanted to just put your cursor on Abiodun Ismaila because I was almost done with the formula, but you were too fast.
Okay. Oh, okay, okay, it's okay.
Double click on it, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm on it now. So you
just
can look at it. No, you don't have to because you're waiting for it to go here.
I've seen it.
Take note of the formula bar. You don't always have to see.
Double click it.
Yes, you don't always have to double click it. Sometimes all you just need is just put your cursor there and then you look at the formula bar. The formula bar tells you what formula gave you this. Because at a point in time, you want to see both things. You want to see the product and you want to see how we got there. You understand?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much, ma'am. All
right, thank you. So this is for Concat. You got Concat, right?
Yes, I did. I did very well. Thank you very much.
Okay. So we're going to go to the other one, which is using. Let me just work with my small letter. Using concatenate function. It's too long. So this is using concatenate function. It doesn't allow me to drag it. It's coming. I'm trying to drag. Let me zoom out first. Okay, that was why. Okay. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, so this is concatenate function. So how this one works, I'll go here now, I'll put my equal to, and then I'll write concat. Before I finish writing this, you can see it has burned it out for me. Concatenate. Look at it. It says join several text strings into one text string. So it's the same thing. It joins everything into one. So I'll click on it, and then I'll come here and I'll write the first cell, which is the J25. It's the same, it's practically the same thing with the concat. There is no difference between this one and the concat. So, but it's just another way you could use H25. And then that you can see it. Oh, I think I joined it the wrong way. What did I use? Right, let me go back. Okay, so I used I went to put H instead of J. So let me work with this. And we have our J. So this concat and the concatenate are the same thing. You understand? So the next one, which is a bit slightly different but still the same, is the text join. I think overall, I think this text join is the easiest. It's not the easiest to remember how to do, but it's the easiest because remember I told you that you could use this concat or the other one when you have a lot of words on a line. You understand? When you have a lot of words on one row, different columns, different cells on a row, you get. But when you are writing each one, you have to be putting, let's say the next cell is F8. You have to come in now and put your space. You have to come here and you put your space and just be going till you are done with what you are writing. But the text join, that one makes it easy for you. Text join will just ask you for what you want to separate, what you want to be the separator. That is the delimiter. What you want to be separating them, and then you put it there. So let's go. I'm going to use my equal to text join equals to text join. So we have text join there. It's asking, you can see what it's asking. It's asking for the delimiter. So the delimiter is what you want to be separating them, what you want in between the two, not the two, the text you are joining, that is the cells you are joining. So we want a space, and then we'll put a space there. You can see the space is still inside, it's still inside the quotation. Please don't forget that. If you put it like that, it won't work. So now it's asking ignore empty. So it's trying to tell you, it's trying to ask you, should it ignore empty cells or it should take empty cells as a space too? So we want it to ignore empty. So we're going to go with true. True. I know this one might be the one that will confuse people. This particular true here, this might be what will confuse people, but don't allow it to confuse you. Still, this text join for me is the easiest. You understand? So after true, you can see what it's asking. It's asking for, always take note of something. When you want to use a function, there's a small dialog box that comes under. So the dialog box will ask you, will tell you what is asking you what you should enter at different points in time. A comma is really used for separator to separate different objects in your function. So I've put my comma there. It's asking me for text one. Text one is the first cell I want to join, which is J25, as we did before. J25. So I put my comma again. That's me for text 2, which is what? H25. And then I close my bracket. So you can see it's supposed to do
H25.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so you can see it. So from your own point of view, which one is the easiest for you?
Is it Concat?
Concat is easier.
Concat all the way.
Concat.
Okay. Okay. Concat is easier for you, Paul.
I think concat and concatenate, both of them are easier.
Okay, that is for you guys. But for me, I prefer the text join because, for example, we have, let's say we have A. Let me just give you an example. For example, we have A, we have B, we have C. Please mute your mic. Thank you. We have C, we have E. For example, if I'm to use my concat here now, like you said, concat equals to concat, like you guys said. So I'll come here now. I will now have to go with the first cell is Q25. So I'll come here and I'll write Q25. I'll now put my comma and I have to put space again. Space. The next one is arrow 25. I come here, I put my arrow 25. Then I put my space again. See, it's a bit stressful. As far as anything that makes me to write too much things, and it's not like I'm coding or I'm writing a very serious formula. To me, it's stressful. So I'll put my space, and then I'm going to S25. Hold on.
No doubt, it's stressful.
It is very, very stressful. But if it's for small things, it's easier. It's easier. But I'll put my S25, and then I'll put the space again. Then I'm going to what? P25. And then I'll put comma, and I have my space again, and I have this one again, and then I'll come to what? U25, Abby? U25. Then I'll have this equal to. So this is what? ABCD. You understand? Whereas I could have just done this equals to text join. Text join. The delimiter I want is let me even use dash. Dash. Then it's asking me to ignore empty, and I put my what? I put my true. Then I come here and I just choose. Let me even try using range. Let me try using range. Can you see it? I just dragged it. Can you see? I didn't even have to even use. Where is it? Can you see? I didn't even have to. You can see that techno is easier, and I can change this and I put my. You can't drag for the other one. If you want, you can drag it to, but you can't even drag. What am I saying? You can't drag. You can't drag for this one because you must put your space. If you drag, it will just join everything together. You understand? It will join everything together, but we want our space to be in between. You can see the difference between the text join and the concatenate. So I hope that one is understandable to everybody. So the next thing now, okay, we're going to splitting cells. So for example, now you see the way these ones now are joined together, but we don't want them joined together. You understand? We want to separate them. But the problem with separating, okay, let me just do it so you guys just see it. Problem with separating these particular ones, I've already used the formula, is that when you separate, instead of separating the product, which is what you are seeing, it will go and separate the formula, which is not what we want. But let's try it for text join. Okay. Okay, so let's try, or yeah, let's try for this one. So let's say we want to split this one now. So what we'll do is we'll come here, we'll select it. I will need to open sorry. I'll need to open my tab for this. We'll select what we want to separate. When you want to separate, you select it like this. And then we'll come here. And then we'll go to our data. Data tab. I'm going to data tab. Data tab. I'm going to data tab, and in data tab, I'm going to data tools. So you can see where you have text to column here. So I can click on my text to column. I want to separate it, but look at what it's showing me as the data that is being selected. Can you see? It's showing me It's showing me the formula. If I say I want to select it now, let's say I want to use fixed width, for example, I'll click yes. Don't worry, I'll go back. I know you guys don't really understand what I'm doing here. I'll go back. Or let's just finish this one first. So I've put fixed width. Fixed width is saying that I want to work with a particular width based on what is in the cell, and I want to separate them individually. So if I come here now and I click next, it's just asking me for this one now. Is just the data type for each of the columns, meaning it's going to split that it's going to split those rows into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into 6 columns. And if I click my finish, there's a written data, they didn't want to replace it. No problem, let's replace. Okay, can you see what it did? It split it into 6, but this is not what we want. We want to split the products, not the formula. So let's work with a fresh sheet. What do I do? Let me go next. I want to try and see if I can copy this without copying the formula. It's going to copy the formula for me. Let's try it. Yeah, it's going to copy the formula. So we just write it afresh. Hold on. So, for example, you are being given some names now. Like when you are doing data cleaning, when you are being given a table, and then in your table you have your first name and your surname in one particular column, is wrong. You are expected and you are supposed to split them into 2. So first names should have one column. Second name should have, that is your middle name, should have another column. Then your surname will have another one. Same way, there's some data sets some companies will give you to clean or to analyze from them. You know, if you remember what I told you guys yesterday, the steps in data analysis, you have to clean. After you've gotten your data set, you've gotten what you want to work with, you have to clean it before you start analyzing it. So that is where this particular step I'm showing you guys now will come into. Okay, so you might be given something like this. Maybe give me something like this. The names are joined together, so you have to. It's your duty to split them. They can even give you some data sets. If you have the person's email and phone number together in one particular cell, is wrong. So what you do is you just highlight the cell, then you go to your data tab. Your data tab, you go to data tools group, and then you click on text to column. So it's going to bring. There are 2 ways to do this now. 2 options it's giving you. It's giving you the option of delimiter. I'm coming. Let me just copy this and put it somewhere else because I will show you guys the two methods. Okay. So you select it first. You go to data tools. You go to text to columns. So here, the first one I will show you guys now is the delimited. Limited, let's just read the meaning here. It's saying characters such as customers or tabs separate each field. So it's showing that you have something that is separating. Like if you look at now between all our names here, that is the first name and the surname. What is separating them is space, and the space is common to all the cells. It's common to all the rows. Just the space that is separating them. So we want to work with delimited. So I'll click the delimited. And I'll go to next. So this next now is asking us what is the separator here. We've picked delimited, meaning that there is something that is separating them that I want to use. So here is asking us what is that thing that is separating them. And what is separating them now is what? The space. So you guys can see my screen. So I'm going to come here and I will click space. You understand? I'll click space here. So it's going to accept that the space is what is separating them. You can see what he did here. That split it for you. So it's just like this space now is a data preview. It's showing you how the data will look like after you split it. So you can see Abiodun, Favor, Dorcas, everybody is separate. Their first name and their surnames are separate. So I like it like this. This is how I want my data to look after splitting. And then I'll go and I'll click next. So the next thing it's going to show you is it's going to show you the data types, that type of data. It's telling you to just confirm the type of data in each cell. For example, is a date now. If you change it to date, for example, it's text, you change it to date. But this one now, what we're doing is a general text. General text can be either text or numbers, meaning it can either be alphabet, words, or numbers. So we're working with general. We work with general. General can be anyone. Why text? Text is for only words. You understand? Alphabet and words and the rest. Okay, thank you. So it's asking, and so this general now is telling you he's going to set. Okay, I didn't teach you guys data types. I think I'll have to do that. You can see here now it's writing general. General means this is the data type. That is the type for this particular column. That is the first name column. That is the type. If I come here now, I'll put text. It's just like this place now is just like an editing box. If I come here now, I'll put text. It's going to make sure that all the data here comes out as text. So I'll just leave it as general. You most of the time you won't really need to change. It's only in complex data sets you need to really work with these parts. But once you get here, you can just click next. You selected your delimiter as space. Just click next and then you will do it. So I'll come here and I click finish. You can see it has separated it. I'm going to go by it again because I know many people did not get it. So let me go back again. Okay. I'll start from the beginning. I'm going to drag. You understand? I'm going to drag and select all the data that I want to separate into two. I want to divide it into two. It can be into three if I want to. I want to divide it into two. So I'll go to my data tab. I'll go to my data tab, and then I'll come to text to columns in data tools, and I'll click on it. So it has shown me the data I have selected. Look at it. This is preview of selected data. It has shown me the data that I have selected. This is what is here. Then it has this place and it's saying choose the file type that best describes your data, meaning what is separating my data. So I'm working with delimited. You leave it as delimited. I was too fast. Let me go back to that side. Sorry, guys. So I'm working with delimited. Delimited means there is something that is separating them. A delimiter is whatever is separating two things. That's what a delimiter is. Remember when we were working with text join just now? The text join in the beginning it asked for delimiter, and then we had to put quotation marks and put a space in between those quotation marks. You understand? So this one is saying delimited. Then I'll come here and I'll go to next. You understand? So it's asking me which of that delimiter, that is, which of the separators, as in what is separating them. You understand? What is separating them? So we have different options here. We have the tab, we have the semicolon, we have the comma, we have the space. So we're selecting space because space is what is separating them. So after selecting space, you can see the preview it gave. It's telling you how the data will look after separating it. So are you okay with Abiodun being here? Or Abiodun is not supposed to be here. Abiodun is supposed to be in this place, but we're okay the way it is there. And I'll come here and I click my next. Yeah, you don't really have to do much. Here, you're talking about the data type. You understand? So if you want it to be text, so it's telling you like, because, okay, what if the data were joined with, okay, I have a lot of questions here. What if the data were joined with no space at all? Okay, that one is what, that's where that one now is a bit complicated. Most of the time, they have to be joined with something. They have to be joined with something. It might not be a space, it might be a comma. You understand? Okay, I'll do comma so you guys can see. So this is just telling you, we want to split it into two columns, right? Two columns, which is what? First name column and last name column. So first name data type, what data type do you want to be in the first name? You want to be general. The same way you can see general on top here. What data type do you want to be in the last name? General. That's why you're seeing general here. And then I'll go here and I'll click finish. And it will split it into two. So I can come here and I'll write first name. And I'll come here, I'll put last name. So in a situation whereby, let me go back. whereby you have commas separating them like this. Like this. Something has to separate them. If not, it means you have a whole lot of work to do. Or there might also be another way. But I've not come across that situation. I don't pray to come across that. Okay, so we'll select this like this. You understand? So I've selected it now. What is separating them now is a comma. I've selected everything here. Sorry. I've selected everything here. And then I click my data. I'm going to data tools. Text to column. Just remember, I think the first time I learned this, yes, I didn't really understand it much. But the two things I just knew at first was I'm coming to where? The data tab. And then I'm going to which group? I'm going to the data tools group. And what am I clicking in data tools group? I'm clicking text to columns. So I'm going to double click it. And you can see I'm working with what? Delimited. Delimited meaning there is something that is separating them. So I'm going to come in and I click next. So we're not working with you can see it's showing data preview. We're not working, this is data preview now, comma. Before when I was using space, remember that when we got here, we divided them into two. You understand? So I don't want to work with my space again. I want to work with comma. So can you see? I've used my comma now. You can see it divided it. Assuming I left it as space, which was untrue. Space is not what is separating these people. I said people. Space is not what is separating this the data in the cell. It's not what is separating the first one is comma. So I come in and I click my comma. You understand? So it has separated it. Okay, it's now showing that this is how it is going to appear after separating it. Are you okay with it? That's why it's called a data preview, to see the product before it is being done. So if I'm okay with it, this is what I want, I can click my next. So this one is just the data type. It's telling you first column, the data type, the type of data here is what? General, which is true. Second column, type of data, you can just work with general. You won't usually have to work with this. You have to make any major changes. So if you don't like, if maybe you don't want the data type in this first side to be general, you can change it to text. You understand? I can change it to text. Then the second one, I can change it to text again if I want. And then I click finish. You can see. General means is both numbers and text. You get why text is only text, is only words. Mr. or again something. Oh, I can't see the name very well. You have a question, you can shoot. Let me go back again. I'll do this one more time. And now we'll assume these people have middle names. Abiodun M. Ismail. Favor J or Favor Joseph. Sorry, I'm adding names to you guys. The names, so Favor Joseph, Dorcas Sadiq, T. Then let's say Giovanni. Sorry, missed the space. Then we have Emmanuel. What name did I put here? Emmanuel David Abido. Then Blessing J Kingsley. Okay, so I want to do this now for this one. So I will just select everything. The same step. I'm going to my data. I'm going to data to text to column. So I want to work with what? Delimiters. There's something separating them. So I'll go here and I click next. So can you see? Because it was comma that was separated before, I was selected here before. I mean it was space now. This is what I will meet. You can see it, meaning you cannot see the space. It's looking for the space, you can't find it. You get, because I tell you to go and look for space and separate it based on the space, but there is no space there. So how can it separate it? You get me? So I want to pick a comma instead of my space. So if I assume I selected the two things, it's like saying go and look for comma and space. Anyone you see, divide it based on that. You get? So I'll go with the comma alone. Just select comma. And you can see the way it divided it. So anywhere it sees a comma, it's going to put a division. You can see it. Abiodun M. Ismail, Favor Joseph Akpebe, and the rest. You get. So I come here and I click next. So this next now is showing you all the columns, like I said. Assuming you had a very long text and you want it to be divided into different columns. So it will show all the columns here for you. How it's going to appear. Assuming this was more than just 6 names, I can go down. You understand? If it was also more than, if the separation was very much, like when we had that A, B, C, D now, for example, that is about 5 columns. We show those 5 columns with commas. We show those 5 columns here. And then you cannot choose the kind of data type for each column. When you are done choosing, I don't need to choose because general is for everything. General is okay. If it's numbers, you can work with general. If it's text, you can work with numbers. You don't need to stress yourself. So you just go with finish, and then that split everything for me. No stress. Okay. So we're going to work with the second one, which is fixed width. So I'll select this. But did you guys understand it?
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, so if, for instance, I'm working with a data set that has numbers, probably like dates, that has day, month, and year, and I want to separate them into a separate column for day, separate column for month, and separate column for year. And I see that the data set is very large, and some of them are separated with probably hyphen, and some are separated with a slash. Can I choose more than one delimiter to separate them,
You,
or I have
you
to do
can
it when I
try it.
Yes.
You know, you can try it. You can use it. You can use it.
All right, thank you.
You can use it. Another thing with data analysis is this: most times you can't know it all. You understand? So when you are being faced with a challenge, that's why it's always good to be in a community. When you are being faced with a challenge, you can easily ask. You can ask on the group. Somebody will be there to answer. You understand? If you have a friend too, maybe you guys are divided into teams. You have a friend, you can easily ask your friend, how do you do this? And if you don't want to do that, you can also go online and check. You cannot. There's no way you will go that they will teach you everything from A to Z. It's not possible. Even if you go and do a master's degree, you cannot get everything from there. At some point, you will have some challenges when you are working with some. Okay, the group is not open. The Telegram group is open. So at some point, you have some challenges that is not straightforward. You have to use 2 steps from 2 different or 3 different steps, combine them together to solve that problem. So you will not have to do research. You get. So that's that. I want to select this one. Now I want to work with the other one, which is fixed width. So I've selected everything. I'm going back to my data. Most people don't use fixed width too, but I just want to show you guys. I'm going back to data. Under data tools, I'm using my text to column. And I'm instead of selecting delimiter, I'll select fixed width. And I'll go with next. Okay. So you can see the fixed width. Fixed width here now is you have to drag it. Can you see it? You have to drag it. You have to drag. You're going to be the one to put the separation. That is your column line. You understand? You're going to be able to put it, and it's going to be very difficult because the number of letters in the first name is not the same number of letters in the second first name. You understand? It's not the same number of letters in Abiodun. Is not the same number of letters in Favor. Not the same number of letters in Dorcas. You understand? So then I click my next. You can see the way it selected it. You can see the difference between the two, and I click finish. So you can see this is not what we wanted. But where this can be okay is if you are working with ID. You understand? Some companies ID, you can say, okay, let's say as PEEP students now, the first person's ID is PEEP 101, for example. Second one is PEEP 102, for example. Then we have PEEP 103. You understand? So you can select these ones. Select these ones. You go to your data. You go to data tools, text to column. And then we're working with fixed width. Like this one, there's no delimiter separating it. You understand? We're working with fixed width. So we go to next. You understand? So we can draw it here and put it in between, because this one now, the first letters, they all have the same the same number of letters. So I click my next and I click finish, and it will give me what I want. You get? But in a situation like this, I don't favor, you can't do that. So do you have any questions before we move to the next phase? I don't know if we're going to be able to finish everything I planned for today, but let's go. Any questions? No questions. Okay. So now we are in cell referencing. Okay.
Okay, I think someone is trying to raise his hand now.
If you ask your
Jose,
question, I leave them. Once I've left, I won't go back again. Ask your question, please. Okay, maybe the hands are up for okay. Well, on to cell reference now. So cell referencing is a feature in Excel that allows you to use data from one or more cells in formulas and functions. That means, you know what we did before, what we did just now when we were saying this cell is equals to J8, and then anything that is in J8 is going to enter this cell. So that is just the definition of what cell referencing is the act of referencing a cell. You understand? Saying that this thing is this other cell. You get? Like when we went to do sum and the rest, we referenced all the sales for Monday in that Emmanuel's company. We referenced all the sales, we referenced the cells. We didn't call the number, the product. We didn't call the numbers directly. We just used the cell name. You understand? So that's just basically what is cell referencing. Types of cell referencing: we have relative referencing, absolute referencing, mixed referencing, and structural referencing. What is relative referencing? This changes when a formula is copied from one cell to another, which is what we saw just now. Everything we did just now was relative referencing, because when we did it for Monday, we didn't want to do the same calculation for Tuesday, so we just dragged. You understand? So as we drag, if you notice what we did here, as we dragged, do I see her? I hope I didn't delete it. Okay, I did not. So as we dragged, you remember what was here? Remember what was here was remember what was here? What is here now is K8. We have K8 and we have K12. While what we have here is what? L8 and L12. So that means something changed. What changed? Who can tell me what changed? Nobody? Okay.
Sorry, I can't see your screen.
I said
You can't see us.
are you
Yes.
oh, you can't see. Sorry about that.
I think the screen just hanged or something.
Yes,
the presentation was.
I lost. I'm. I lost network on my PC. Okay, so I'll be joining in back shortly. Yes, I lost network connection. Just hold on. Give me a minute. Apologies for the break in transmission. Okay. Okay, so my screen should come back now. Okay, so I'm back to cell referencing. What was the last thing you guys saw? What was the last thing you saw?
Relative referencing.
Relative reference. Okay, which is here. Okay, that's good. So not so far. Okay, so I said everything we did. Like when I was here, when we're here, You can see here we have K8, we have K12. We dragged it, right? We didn't come here to write this itself. So if you come here now, you can see what is the difference between this one and this one. What is the difference?
Like the cell letters changed.
The cell number.
Those letters, what are those letters? What are they? What does the letter represent?
Columns.
Oh, thank you very much.
Columns and rows.
Just the letters, which are these ones, A, B, C, D to columns. Then here we have what? Numbers representing the rows. You understand? So that is basically cell referencing. Assuming we dragged it down like this. Assuming we dragged it down like this. Let me just do something here now. Let's say we want to find the total sales for phones. Total sales for phones. Total sales for phones, for example. So we can come in and we'll do is equal to sum, and then that is K8 to 08. K8 to 08. So we have 16,000. That is total sales for phone. So I can drag it down and then it will populate everything. Then I can now come and say here now is equal to, if I want to do the sum now, total sum, you know, the sum now, which is the total of everything, the total sales that Emmanuel made this week. I can choose to do the sum of everything here, or I do the sum of everything here, or I do the sum of everything here, right? Are you getting me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
So let's say I'm working with the sum of everything here, which is what is our reference? Q8 and let me just drag it. Okay, that is 111,000. What I'm trying to explain to you guys is the act of this thing to change. You can see this one now. What changed here was the what changed now between here and here was the column, right? What changed between here and here was the column. If you see now, this is K8 and K12. Then here is what? L8 and L12. But when you come here, we have K8 and O8. And when you come here, you have K9 and O9. You understand? What changed here now is row. Do you understand?
The rows, yes.
What changed here are the rows. You can see what changed here now. They are the numbers. The numbers are what is changing. Can you guys see it? Okay,
Yes.
here we have 8, we have 9,
Yes.
here we have 10, we have 11. But what changed here are the columns. Here we have K, here we have L, here we have M. You understand? And so the act of those cells changing is called relative referencing. You understand? Meaning it is relative to the position. Meaning once you move it to this column, the column number should change. That is the column alphabet should change, and it should work with the column alphabet. If you move it to the row, if you move it row wise, moving like this is column wise because you're moving from column K to column L to column M. Moving like this is column wise. You understand? While moving downward, which is 2 to 3 to 4 downward, that is row wise. So you are saying relative referencing is saying when you are on H and you are dragging H here, the column should change. You understand? It should change from H to J. It should just change. Then when you are moving downward, the row number is what should change. That is relative. That is relative referencing. Then for absolute referencing, look at the definition of absolute. Absolute. This does not change when a formula is copied from one cell to another. It is fixed. So absolute referencing here, whatever you are doing is fixed. That is, it does not change. And how do we do that? We use the dollar sign. There are two ways. You can either use the dollar sign or you use F4. You understand? So we use the dollar sign or we use the F4. So let's say now we want this place now to be, we want to do the sum now. We're going to do the same sum that we did here. So let's say this one now is equals to sum of K8 to O8. Let's do this here. Sum of what? K8 to O8. This now is relative referencing, right? So once we move downward this way, it will change. But we don't want it to change. We want to remain fixed. So what will come here now, you can see now while my cursor is between the K8. You understand? I'll come here and I'll click F4. So when I click F4, can you see what happened? Can you guys see what happened? Or I should go back. Let me click it again.
Zoom your screen a little.
Yes, we're listening.
Okay, hold on. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in. Okay, so I believe this is very clear now. So I said this was what? K8 to O8, which is normal, the sum of those cells for the cells for phones from Monday to Friday. But because I want to do an absolute reference, I want to fix it. I don't want it to move. I don't want it to change. So I'll come here and I'll click in between the K and 8. You understand? I'll click F4. Can you see what happened? Who can tell me what happened? Let me know if you guys can see it.
Yes,
what happened?
It changed to a dollar sign.
The dollar sign is when
The dollar
K
comes in.
8.
Is the dollar sign in between?
Exactly. So there's a dollar sign in between and 8. Good. So I can come here now too, and I'll click that same F4. What I'm clicking is F4. If you're using your PC, just go to the top. You will see F4 there. So I've used my equal. So it remains the same, right? I still see 16,000. But if I drag it, can you see what happened?
Yes.
You see that it didn't change?
Yes.
Nothing changed because I have locked it. That nothing should change there. It should, once I move, even if I come in and I want to move like this, it should remain 16,000. Nothing should change. So that is absolute referencing. If you don't want to use F4, come in, let me. If you don't want to use F4, you can just come here. For example, I used F4, which made it very fast and easy, which is actually faster. But if you don't want to use F4, you can still come here and you click your what? You put your dollar sign before the alphabet, before your column column alphabet. Then you put a dollar sign. Thank you. So straightforward, and then it's locked. You get? So I think that is straightforward and easy. So when you mostly use that, like, please mute your mic. Mute your mic, please. Thank you. So when you will use when that I want to create a scenario when that absolute referencing now will come into play. So let's say we have a list of numbers. Let's say 100. Let's say 200. Let's say 300. So your boss now has told you that he wants to see. Let me delete this here. Your boss now has told you that he wants to see the total sales, or let me say he wants to see the price. He wants you to add 100. He wants you to add 100 to the prices of all the goods that you're selling. So this is just a list of commodities, a list of goods that a company sells. You understand? So it's telling you to add 100, 200, and 300 to them. You understand? And he wants to see it. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
we can hear you.
Yes,
Hello.
can.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And he wants to see it, for example. So he wants to see everything there. So you can say, okay, for the first one, which is what? Let's say this is 100. I'll just do it straightforward so you guys will see what I'm talking about. So for this one now, if I want to use this 100 now to work with, so I have the numbers, I want to increase it by here. Okay, so if I want to say I want to increase the price now by 100, I can now come here and say is equal to sum D24 plus I'm not supposed to put plus one. D24, comma, I will now go here now and select my 100. So understand? So it's to sum D24 and 100 for me. So if I click it and I click enter, it will give me 498. You understand? So I drag it down. You can see. So I don't know if you guys can notice what is happening here. Huh?
Please, can you do that again?
The 498, the 398 increased by 100. Okay, let me go back. Let me zoom
Please,
in.
can you do that again?
Yeah, I want to go back and I'll zoom in so you guys will see it clearly. Just hold on. You can see my screen is big enough, right?
Yes, thank you. It's big enough.
Yes.
Is my screen big enough?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it's big enough. Thank you.
It's like I'm echoing though. Please, can you mute your mic? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I said your boss now wants to see. Let me add 300 here. Why do these cells look strange? So I said your boss now told you that he wants to see. I want to just create a scenario for you where you need absolute reference. Your boss now told you that he wants to see the prices of your goods when you add 100, let's say $100 to the price of each product there, $200 to the price of each product there, and $300. You understand? So I have the three here, for example. So I will need to take it down a bit. Okay, you guys can still see my screen. Okay, so I'll come here now for the 100. That is increments by 100. Let me put it there so you understand what I'm saying. Increments by 100, maybe smaller, or increase by 100, for example. So if you increase the price of the commodities of the goods by 100, okay, so if you increase the price of the goods by 100, what I need to come here now is, if I say I want to increase this price now by 100, I need to add 100 to each, right? I need to add 100 to everything. That's not what we want to do. That's what we want to do. So I'll come here now. I'll put equal to. Please mute your mic. Thank you. So I'll come here now and I'll put equal to. I'll come to D24 and I'll click on D24. Plus, I used sum before, but you can still go direct. You don't want to use sum. But then you just use sum. Sum is a function. So you guys will get used to using functions. So can you say sum? The first number is what? D24, comma. When you're using sum, you cannot use plus again. No. Please take note. You're using sum, it means you work with what comes out here. When you're using a function, you don't need to put plus again. You work with what comes out here. If you don't want to use a function, you can do plus. So we have D24, that is the first number. Then we want to increase it by 100. And 100 here is M22. Can you guys see where the 100 is?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to click on 100.
Yes, you can see it. Yes.
So I'm going to click on 100 now. And when I click on 100, I do equal to. So I've gotten 498.54, which is 398.54 plus 100. That is the sum of it. So if I drag it downward, can you see what happened? If you come here now, you want to do 352 28 plus 100 is supposed to give you 452.28. But instead, it's giving us 552.28, which is wrong. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
I should go. Okay. So this place now is 338.94 plus 100 is supposed to give you 438.94. But what we have here is 638.94. Fix it. We did not use absolute referencing. What we're supposed to do was we're supposed to use relative referencing for this one. Leave this one like that. Then this particular number I want to increase it by, we're supposed to fix it to make it absolute so that it doesn't change. You get? So now I'm going to delete it, or let me just do it here so you guys will see. We'll do the same thing. We'll do the same thing here. So if I come here and I did sum, I click the first number here, which is 24, D24. I click D24. I put my comma. Then I will click my M22. But instead of leaving it like that, I will click my F4 button, and I close my bracket. So equal to, and then you can see it gave me the same format. So if I drag it, can you see what happened here? Can you guys see this? Please, I need responses. So otherwise, I'll feel like
Yes, you can see it.
Yes,
okay.
yes,
You
can
can see the difference. Go ahead with your question.
Is it not because you have 200 and 300 in the cells under 100?
Yes, that is why. But I don't want it to work with 200 and 300. I want it to work with only 100.
Okay.
That is why I have to fix it. If you don't fix it, it will work with 200 and work with 300. I don't want it. It should do what I want, not what it wants. You understand? So I will tell it to work with only 100. And how do I tell it to work with only 100? I'll tell it to work with only 100 by fixing it, by using the $ to fix it.
Sorry,
You
another
understand?
question, just
Go
so that I
ahead.
understand clearly. So that means if you want to do the same process and you want it to work with only 200, you can select M25, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Instead of M24.
Not M25.
Sorry, M24
So it's going to be
instead of
M23. Let's look at it. It's going to be M23. Can you see it? For 200, it's going to be M23.
yes.
Let me delete this so you don't get confused.
M23 instead of
M23, yes.
M22. And then the entire column will work
yes,
in
exactly.
terms of 200.
Yes, I will now fix it. So what I'm going to fix, I'm coming. What I'm going to fix, what I'm not going to fix is, let me zoom it again so you guys can see. So what I'm not going to fix is what? This cell. Because I don't want to go and work with 300. So, for example, now, I want to do the same thing. I want to increase the price by 200. So I'll come here now, and I'll do equal to sum, this price, you understand, comma, I'm working with 200, but I don't want it to go and work with 300 again. So I will come here now, and I will press my F4. So it has changed it. You get? And I click enter. You can see it increased this first one now by 598 by 200, making 398 plus 200. That is 598. If I drag it down, you can see it. Everything here is increasing by 200. Can you see?
Yes,
Can
we
you
can
see
see,
it?
Yes.
The 183 by 2. So that is absolute referencing. Absolute referencing is the act of using the value from a particular cell, but in a fixed state, in a state where it doesn't change. The column and the row does not change. You understand? So now I'm moving to the next one. This one is a bit complex. This is mixed reference. Go ahead.
Please, man, quick one, man.
All right.
What if the increase is in
Go ahead now.
percentage? What happens? But what if the increase is in percentage? Yeah.
Okay, you want to work with a percent?
Yes, ma'am.
It's the
Yes, ma'am.
same thing. It's the same thing. For example, let's use this. I'm trying to look for a scenario now where we want to use that. Okay. Let's work with this one now, for example. Let's work with this one now. For example, now, we want to find the percentage now. This is the total sales. This is the total sales. We want to this 111,000 now is the total sales Emmanuel has made in his company for this particular week. You understand? So we want to find out the percentage that each product contributed to the total price. You understand? Because this total price now is formed from the sum of this is formed from the total of each product. So we want to find out the percentage of this in this. You get? So we can come here now and say the percentage now for this one now will be what? Will be equal to this particular cell, Q8. Q8 divided by this one here. You understand? Times 100. Times 100. If you want to work with 100, times 100 over 1. Normal way you do your maths. So to give you 14.1. But if you notice something here, as we dragged it, it didn't give me, it gave me an error, division error. You know, it gave me division error. It gave me a division error here because it is working with relative referencing. It's assuming that what is here is 0. What is here is 0. You understand? What is here is 0. You get? So it's now going to do, okay, this one now is Q8 over Q14. Okay, then this one now is what? Q9 over Q15. And what is in Q9 is 0. What is in Q15, sorry, is 0. You understand? This other one, because it's empty, it's an empty cell, is 0. So because we don't want it to go and do that, you just come here now and you lock it. Who is your F4? You understand? So it will do the division over this. So it will do this Q9 over this total. This over this total. It will not move down. So if I come here now and do the same thing, I drag it. You can see it. It's giving me this thing. The individual percentage. And in a case where you don't want to use the 100, you understand? You don't want to use the 100. This is what it will give you normal. You want to just convert it. You want to see the percentage sign. So after you've done this, you come to your home tab. You come to your home tab. You see where you have numbers here. You just come here and you click your percentage. Do you get? So it's telling you, this one is telling you, are you guys following me?
Yes, we are.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so it's telling you that phones here, phones makes up 14% of the total sales. You understand? Laptop
Please, can you
makes
do
up
that
60% of the
percentage
total
again?
sales. Okay, let me go back. So here's what I did.
Thank you.
Normally, if you want to find the percentage, you just do this, divided by this times 100 over 1, Abi. That is the individual, the object you are looking for, divided by the total sales times 100 over 1. But you don't have to do that. You can just do this divided by the total. You understand? You get equal to, then you drag it down, which gave me decimal all here. You get? Then to just convert this now, to change the format, that the data type, I will just come here to home. In the home tab, I will go to numbers. Can you see where numbers are? Numbers. The number group. The number group in the home tab. So if you're writing a note, you can use this to know what I'm talking about. The number group in the home tab. Then you click percentage, and you can see it. This one now is telling you phones makes up 14%. Home as from here now, even without looking at this whole, did you know that home assist bots made up the highest percentage of the sales? You understand? So that's for that. So for me now, you can easily say, oh, phones are giving me 14% for my sales. Why is phone not selling very well? So you can decide you can make any decision he wants to. If it's to check the staff that are in charge of phone sales, get more information from the customer, do surveys, why they don't like buying, or what type of phones do they like, those kind of stuff. That is the whole idea of data analysis, to find a way to improve your business. Before I go too far, let me go back to self-referencing. So mixed referencing now is a combination of relative referencing and absolute referencing. Meaning that, okay, I will need to do this somewhere else. Let's do this here. So let's say, I'm not getting what I want. Sorry, let me zoom out and zoom in. Okay, so let's say here now we have 100, we have 200, we have 300, for example. And we want it to be locked here. So let's say this cell now is equals to, we have J43. J43, right? Which is this particular, which is 100. So if we want to lock it, we will not come here and do our F4, right? For absolute. That's the normal way. But the mixed referencing now, what mixed referencing does, it gives you the opportunity, the option to choose what you want to lock. If you want to lock only the column, or you want to lock only the row. You understand? So for mixed referencing, you cannot use your F4. You have to put the $ on its own individually. You will choose what you want to lock. Let me show you guys an example now. For example, we have 400 here. Then we have 500. Let me zoom in so you guys will see what I'm doing properly. Okay, so I think this is clear. This is quite clear enough. Okay, so for this one, if I want to lock the column, that is, I don't want the column to change as I move. Normally now, on a norm, normally for this J43 now, is on relative referencing now. If I move it like this, can you see what is happening? It has changed to the 400 and 500. If I move it down like this, it has changed to 200, 300. But I don't want it to change I don't want the column to change. I want it to remain as 100. Do you understand? I want it to be in a way that if I move it right ways, if I move it column wise, it will remain as 100. But if I move it row wise, that is from up down, it will change. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, if you want to lock your column, okay, what I'm trying to say is, if you want to lock your column, you put your $ before the column. And if you want to lock your row, you put your $ before the row. Remember, numbers are for rows, alphabets are for columns. Do you get me?
Yes.
Numbers are for rows. Remember, as you have here, numbers are for rows, alphabets are for columns. So I don't want to lock my rows. I want to lock only my columns, so that if I move from one column to another, it will remain the same. But if I move from one row to the other, it will change. So that way, I will delete this $ I have before my row and leave only the $ I have for this column, which is the J. So if I do my equal to, and then I drag it this way, Can you see it's remaining 100? Can you see it's remaining 100? But if I come here now and I drag it downward, can you see that it changed?
Yeah, we can see the
Can you
difference.
see what happened?
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, we can see it.
That is why if you don't understand what rows are, what your column are, you won't get that part. So if I say now, if I say now, I don't want the thing to change when I drag it from up down. That is, I don't want the row. I don't want to change when I move row wise. When I move from up down, I don't want to change. But I want to only change if I move right ways. So all I need to come here now is what I want to lock is what? I'll leave it, it's first as a relative referencing. What I want to lock now is the rows. When I change rows, I want it to remain as J43 no matter what. So I come here now and I put my dollar sign before the J43, meaning what? I'm locking this particular row. So I click enter. So if I move down like this, can you see the row didn't change? But if I come in and I move column wise, which is left to right, it's changed. So I believe that one is understandable.
Yes,
most
it
of the
is.
times
Thank you.
you won't have. Most of the times you will not have to use. You will shall on rare situations you would have to use mixed referencing. So the last one we'll do, so I know I'm done with self-referencing, is, let me take this all out. The last one we'll do now is structural referencing. It means we won't be able to do data manipulation today. What we'll do now is structural referencing. So let me go here. So structural referencing, this involves inserting a table into the data set and calling the table when necessary. Here, the column required is being called with a square bracket when needed. So what this one is trying to say is all you need to do for this structural referencing, just go to the particular table you want to work with, and you do Control T. Can you see what happened when I click Control T? Can you guys see? Or let me zoom in.
Please come again. Please come again.
Okay. Let me do it again. So I will soon finish, so everybody can rest. I said if I want to change this one into a table, structural referencing is the process of making your now as we're working with it like this now is a range of cells. What we have been doing is we're working with ranges. You understand? Which is from A24 to A42, from B24 to B42. We have been working with ranges, but we no longer want to work. We want to work with tables. That is where the structural referencing comes into play, and this to me is the most important one. The other ones are also important too, but I use this one a lot, and you would too. You understand? So I'll come in and I click Control T. This is what I'm clicking. Control T. Can you see? Control T. So you just come to anywhere inside that range, and then you click Control T. So you can see after I click Control T, this dialog box came up. Can you see what came up? Or I should zoom in. Can you see what came up?
Yes, we can.
Let me make my screen.
Yes, we can see.
So I clicked on this and I click Control T. Do the same size. So this what came up. Oh no, that's not what I want. It didn't select everything for me. Okay, see, this is another way you can do it. If that kind of you're having a kind of issue where it's not you're selecting only a cell instead of everything. So just come here now and you highlight everything. So I'm going Control Shift right and down. So you select everything. This full table you want to work with, select it. Then you do Control T. If you do Control T, it's going to tell you where is data for your table. That is, I want to make this a table. You know what? Let me, because I think I'm confusing you guys. What we want to do is we want to make this thing now into a table. So you get, so I'm going to select everything. Then I will come to Insert. Do you get? I'm at Insert tab now. Insert tab. Then in that insert, I'm going to go to table. So I want to insert a table into this range of cells. So I'll click enter. So it gave me this. So here now it's just showing where you selected. That is the place you selected. That is, you can see. Can you guys see what is written there? It's fixed absolute.
Yes, we can see it.
Absolute to D42, which is from here to here, which is what we have selected before. So you don't need to touch that place. So it's asking you, my table has headers. Does the table have headers? You click yes, because my table has headers: product name, product ID, quantity, and the rest, and price. You get? So I'll click OK. So it has changed it into a table. Assuming you clicked your table does not have headers, this is what's going to happen. So if I click insert, and I said my table does not have headers like this, and I click OK, you see, you want to give me another header here, column. So I will not have to rename it. You get? But that is not what we want. Our table has headers. So we'll click insert. If you have, I don't know if you have your PC on. That's why I said when you guys come to class, you guys will have your laptops on so that you can do it with me. When you are doing it and you follow me, you see it's very easy and very, very straightforward. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to insert a table. My table has headers, yes, and I click OK. What I was showing you initially was Control T. Control T is the shortcut for everything I did just now. Do you get? Hello?
Yes, we get you.
Yeah,
we
we
get
understand.
you.
Yes, we understand.
Yes,
Yes,
we understand.
yes.
Okay, so what this one does is this. This table makes it easy for you to reference a cell. When you have a table like this, most times you don't usually, and you want to work with all the rows in the table. You don't have to say C27 or B29 or D30. You get? Since you're working with a structured table, which is structural reference, a normal table, you can come in and let's say now we want to find the total sales now for this particular table. Do you get? We want to find the total sales now. Hey guys there, or let me, yeah, I can do this here. Are you guys with me? Are you following?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to find the total sales now. And total sales is what? Quantity times price, right?
Yes, it is.
Quantity,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
So I can come in and I'll create total sales. Total sales. Total sales. You can see it just brought it out for me because it's a table. Then I'll come here and say this first column now is equal to. It's not going to come out the way I want it to. Let me do it somewhere else. Let me work with it here. So you guys concept of structural referencing. So I want to say it's equal to quantity. Okay, there was something I didn't do. Apologies, there's something I forgot to do. Normally, immediately after you have created your table like we did here. Are you guys with me?
Yes, how are you?
Yes,
Immediately after you create your table, immediately after you create your table, you select anywhere your table. Then on your tabs, you will see something. If you notice when I was here, nothing was here. But immediately I selected the table design appeared. Should I go outside? You see what I'm talking about? You can see the way it is now. It's normal. Immediately I click on it, table design appeared. So it's giving me options to work on my table.
Yes,
I can change the colors. I can do anything I want to do here and the table type. So table design here. I will now come here. Inside the table design tab, you can see where you have table name. So I can change this table. This table name now is the name of the table. I can name this table cosmetics. Cosmetics. Can you see? So I've given that table now a name. This particular table now has a name. And that name of the table is what? Cosmetics. So if I come here now and I say here is equal to I want to do quantity times price, but I don't want to go and select the cell. I don't want to click the cell individually. So So I can just come here and I'll just say cosmetics. That table we created before. That is the name that we gave this table. Can you see cosmetic here? We created a table, so it has saved, Excel has saved it as a table.
Yes, I can.
Exactly. So I come in and I click cosmetics. So it has selected the table. So it's asking me now, in cosmetics, what do I want to do with cosmetics? I cannot say, in cosmetics, I want to multiply quantity times price. So I will use a square bracket. Can you see square bracket?
Yes, I can see it.
Good. So immediately I click a square bracket, it has shown me, can you guys tell me what you are seeing here? What are these things you are seeing here? Product name, product ID.
Name, product ID, quantity, price.
The table
What are all
column
these?
name.
All.
Those are
Thank
table
you.
headers.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is the headers, right? The column names. Good. So I want to multiply quantity with price. So I click on my quantity and then I close the square bracket. So it has selected my quantity, right? So quantity multiplied by, this is the sign for multiplication in Excel. Not X, not times. So you get, not this, so it's asterisk.
Yes.
Asterisk is the multiplication sign in Excel. So I want to multiply quantity times price. So I will go here now, times what? The table name. The table name is what? Cosmetics. I'm still going to use the same table name. Cosmetics. Can you see it has selected the cosmetics table? And what column in cosmetics do I want to multiply it with? Price. So immediately I click that square bracket. It brought out all the columns for me to pick. And I want to use price. And then I select price. And then I click, I close my square bracket. And I click equal to. Can you see what happened? Can you see what happened?
Yes.
It generated everything for me. Assuming I was using my normal relative reference, I will do this. I will say this is equal to. Okay, it's even, because I've already made it a structure, so it's bringing this out for me already. You get, but normally if it was relative reference I was doing, it will not be in a table format. Relative referencing is like this. I think there's another empty table. Yes. So I was doing relative referencing. Now what I would do here would be, if I was doing relative referencing now, what I would do here would be equal to this C62 times D62, and I'll do equal to, and I will now come here and I will now drag. You understand? So I don't have to do this when I'm working with structure. You can see immediately I just did it for the first one. It just did everything for me down. You understand? So sugar referencing entails you creating a table. That is, you're going to turn your data set into a table. And after turning it into a table, when you want to work with the columns, you just need to call the table name, and then you call the column name, and then you do your computation. You understand? Same way now. If maybe you want to increase it by 100, for example, you want to increase the price by 100, like we did before. It's the same process. You get, if maybe, and you know the other one we did, we actually wrote we wrote 100 in a cell there. But if we don't want to write 100, we can still come here, and maybe it's far. You know, sometimes you can be working across sheets, not just on one sheet. Why you guys are seeing everything like this time? Because it's just for practice purpose. Sometimes you might be working on that sheet, and then you have to use data in 2 different sheets. And maybe you have to use data in basic formula. For example, now these are the sheets in this workbook. You want to use data in basic formula and cell reference together, and then you do your computation in another sheet. In that case, you might not see the table to click, or you have to be going, which will be a bit stressful. So instead of doing that, you can just come here and do your, since you know the name of the table, cosmetics table. You know the name of the column, which is what? Quantity. Oh no, not quantity. Let's work with price. We want to increase the price by 100, like we did the other time. So I can say plus 100. And then it has increased everything for me. Can you guys see it? Are you guys there?
Yes, we can see it. Yeah, we can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
So I think that was do today. We're supposed to do data validation. Time is fast spent. We can't do that today. That will be for class. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man. I really
Sorry,
appreciate you.
please, I have a little question.
Thank
On
Okay,
this,
go ahead.
on this your prize, on the prize we just did, it's
Yeah.
not adding up. The prize was supposed to add by 100, but I think what is doing is it multiplying by 5 or something.
No.
Because if you add 398.54 plus 100, it's supposed to give you 498.54.
Are you talking about this?
Okay,
This
I
one
think
is not.
I think
This was
I
not
was looking at the wrong one. Okay, I was looking at
Okay.
this time. This thing, I've seen it. Thank you.
Yeah, this was it. All right.
Yeah, I've seen it. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, my answer has a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, I used the formula you said. I'm getting an error, and the error is showing that a value you used has the wrong data type.
Which
The value used in the formula is of the wrong data type.
Which formula did you use?
The name of my table is table 1. So I did equal to table 1, open bracket. The name of my first column is column 1, the other column is column 2, and they all contain integers. That's normal values. I left the class since, so I just did like just 2 columns just to try out what we were doing.
Okay.
But right now it's showing an error, and the error is saying that a value used in the formula is of the wrong data type.
Do you have text in it?
No, there's no text in the 2 columns. The column 1 contains just numbers all through, just five rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Then the column 2, the same thing, 6 rows. Then the formula I wrote is table 1 open square bracket, column 2 close square bracket times table 1 open bracket. That's square bracket, column 3 close brackets.
Did you exactly maybe did you use times, or did you go and use X, or you went to use asterisk? What did you use?
I used asterisk, yes.
Use asterisk.
Yes.
Are you the one that wrote the column name yourself, or you selected it?
No, I was not the one that wrote the column name myself. I just
That is immediately you brought it out. Immediately you brought
Yes.
it out like
Yeah, it brought out by it came out by itself.
you know what you can also do to confirm what the issue is. Just go to another
Yes.
MPTel. Eh?
Okay.
Why you see me
Okay.
I did this like this was because I wanted you guys to understand the concept of calling a table. You understand?
Yes.
I want you to
Yes.
actually name a table and you can call it in a formula. That was why I did it separately. Alternatively, you can
Okay.
simply just come here now and do like I did before. You can do equal to. You go and click on the table on the cell in the table.
Cell. Okay.
So when you do that,
Okay, and do times. Oh.
exactly.
Oh.
So when you do
Okay.
that, you can try it, whatever it
Okay.
is, compare the formula with the formula you used before. So that will tell you where. If it's still continues, snap it and post it on the Telegram.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
All right.